What happens when the world's most powerful military alliance suddenly turns inward? A classified Pentagon document has just leaked, revealing a stunning plan that could fundamentally reshape NATO from within. We're talking about a strategy that reportedly outlines punishments for allies who have not met their defense spending commitments, and the implications are absolutely massive. This isn't just about money, this is about the future of the Atlantic Partnership that has defined Western security for nearly 80 years. So, what exactly is in this document, and why is it being released now? Let's dive deep into one of the most significant geopolitical developments of the year. To understand why this leaked Pentagon plan matters so much, you first need to understand the context of NATO funding and the growing frustration within the alliance. For years, the United States has carried the disproportionate burden of NATO's collective defense. The 2% GDP spending target that all NATO members agreed to back in 2006 seems like a simple benchmark, but compliance has been wildly inconsistent. Countries like Poland, Estonia, and the United States itself have consistently exceeded that threshold, while major European powers like Germany and France have repeatedly fallen short. This disparity has created deep resentment, especially among Eastern European members who feel directly threatened by Russia and believe their Western partners aren't pulling their weight. The leaked document, which first appeared in classified intelligence circles before spreading through diplomatic channels, reportedly outlines a specific framework for what it calls accountability measures against allies who consistently fail to meet their obligations. According to sources familiar with the contents, the plan includes graduated responses ranging from reduced intelligence sharing to potential changes in command structures for countries that don't step up. The most controversial element apparently involves evaluating the nuclear sharing arrangements that form a cornerstone of NATO's deterrence strategy. If implemented, this could mean certain countries lose access to nuclear planning and coordination that has been a fundamental part of the alliance since the 1950s. Now let's think about what makes this so explosive. NATO has always projected unity, even when internal disagreements existed behind closed doors. The alliance survived the Suez Crisis, the Vietnam War disagreements, the Iraq War split, and countless other moments of tension. But this leaked plan represents something different. It suggests the United States is actively contingency planning for a NATO where not all members are treated equally, where the burden of security is more starkly divided between those who pay and those who don't. That's a fundamental shift in how the alliance conceptualizes itself. The timing is particularly significant. This leak comes at a moment when NATO is already under enormous pressure from multiple directions. The war in Ukraine has exposed European defense weaknesses in stark terms, with ammunition shortages and production capacity becoming critical issues. At the same time, political instability in key member states, including the upcoming elections in several major European countries, creates uncertainty about long-term commitments. The document seems to reflect a belief within certain Pentagon circles that the post-Cold War era of incremental alliance building is over, and a new phase requires harder choices about who is truly committed. Historians and security analysts are drawing comparisons to various moments in NATO's complicated history. Some see echoes of the 1979 dual-track decision, when the alliance faced internal divisions over how to respond to Soviet missiles but ultimately found a unified position. Others are more concerned, noting that the alliance's greatest strength has always been its Article 5 commitment to collective defense, and any suggestion that some members might receive less protection than others undermines that foundational promise. The European members who have underinvested in defense are now facing a reckoning, and the leaked document suggests Washington is done waiting for voluntary compliance. What would happen if this plan were actually put into action? Well, the consequences could be profound. Countries that lose access to certain intelligence or nuclear planning capabilities would find themselves in a fundamentally different security position within the alliance. The diplomatic fallout would be severe, potentially creating permanent resentments between Western allies. There is also the question of how this would appear to adversaries. Russia and China would certainly capitalize on any visible cracks in NATO unity, using them in their propaganda and potentially testing the alliance's resolve in various theaters. The irony here is that a plan designed to strengthen NATO could actually weaken it significantly if implemented poorly. Have you ever wondered what would happen if NATO members were actually graded and ranked based on their contributions, with real consequences for those at the bottom? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. Looking at this more broadly, this leaked document represents a pivotal moment in the evolution of transatlantic relations. The post-World War order that saw American security guarantees undergirding Western European prosperity is facing unprecedented strain. Whether this particular plan survives scrutiny or gets modified beyond recognition, it signals a fundamental shift in how Washington views its European partnerships. The era of unlimited patience with allies who don't invest in their own defense appears to be ending. Europe faces a choice: step up and share the burden more equitably, or risk becoming a less equal partner in the alliance that has defined Western security for decades. For those of us who have watched NATO adapt and survive for nearly 80 years, this moment feels different. It's not just about military spending or strategic calculations. It's about whether the Western alliance can reinvent itself once again to meet new challenges, or whether the cracks that have always existed beneath the surface will finally become too large to ignore. The world is watching, and the decisions made in the coming months will shape international security for generations. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting videos.